Have you ever watched a great documentary that also left you confused? A movie that got your interest and made you want to learn more about an issue. But by the end, you didn't really know why it all mattered, and you didn't know what you were supposed to do with that new information. That's because the documentary forgot to answer a really important question. So what? In writing, even if your reader is interested in what you're saying, they're not going to be persuaded unless you answer the so what question. We need to make it really clear to them why this matters to get them to act. This video is going to draw on psychology, philosophy, and lots of other traditions to give you some helpful tips on persuading your audience by answering the so what question. We're going to use tension, justify solutions, and adapt our strategy. So first, using tension. Think about almost every great novel or movie. They all have one thing in common: dramatic tension. Something has to happen for it to be interesting. People want tension in a story, so you've got to build it. We want to show the audience where they are now and where they could be if they do what we're asking. In other words, we're telling them a story. Now, this doesn't have to be a novel. We just want to make the audience see the difference between their current situation and the future possibilities if they adopt our solution. We want them to visualize what life would be like if they did what we were asking them to do. It could be as simple as saying something like, "Here's how we're doing it now. Wouldn't it be great if it was like this?" So next, we want to think about how we can justify our solutions to get buy-in. In order for there to be a valid solution, you have to establish that there's a valid problem or need. You've got to explain to your reader in your reports and proposals that you've identified that need. Show them that you've done your homework and you understand their pain points as well as how this solution is going to benefit them. That means you've really got to know your audience and what matters to them. You want to think about their daily realities. What's valuable to them? Is it time? Is it money? Is it reputation? Then you want to frame your proposed changes using what's called the you view, putting the reader first with that powerful word, you. For example, instead of saying, "I need this because of that," you could say, "You will get this if we do that." Last, you want to adapt your strategy. Remember, we always want to anticipate what our audience's reaction to our message is going to be. For example, if you're writing a persuasive proposal to an executive that's going to require some buy-in, it would seem like an indirect approach would be best. But that's not the case, because executives don't want to wait for a long time to read about the point of your message. So instead, we need to use direct strategy. We want to lay it out for them right away, what we're asking for, and have them reaching for their wallets in the first 15 seconds of reading. Another example, let's say you're sending an email to your team asking them to come into work on Saturday. In this case, it seems like the indirect strategy would be the best approach, because we've got to work our way up to asking people to come in on a Saturday. But we need a quick response, and we need to make sure there's no miscommunication. So again, we're going to use direct strategy for this example. Tell them the main information first, and then the details. So let's review. To persuade people, we've really got to change their minds. So we've got to tell them why this matters. We've got to answer the so what question. We want to use storytelling techniques to build tension and keep the reader engaged. We want to justify our solutions by clearly explaining problems and needs from our audience's perspective. And we want to adapt our persuasion strategy based on our reader and the context. With these tips, you're going to move your audience from so what to what now.